All right, so you should be pretty good at digital painting by now if you've gone through all the lectures and done all the assignments. Hopefully you're well on your way to getting yourself your own job as a digital painter. But before you do that, you're gonna need something that's really important to help you land that sort of a job, and that's gonna be a portfolio. So we just wanted to do a quick bonus lecture that kind of goes over some good guidelines to create a portfolio. There's not really any hard rules for creating a portfolio because your portfolio is gonna be different depending on where you're trying to get a job at. But there are some loose guidelines you can follow to help improve your chances of getting the right eyes on your art. So first off is going to be to make sure that you don't just fill it up with a bunch of assignments. A big flaw of a lot of students, whether they're in university or taking an online course, is that when they create their portfolio, they have a bunch of assignments that they did and they think they look really good, and so they put them in their portfolio. But the problem with that is that they look like assignments. People can tell. What they want to see is that you can work on a project. So what I would recommend is finding some sort of project that really excites you and make a bunch of work for it. So for example, if you want to be a comic book artist, instead of putting a bunch of assignments for comic book stuff, make a comic book about something that you really enjoy. If you want to be a concept artist, come up with some sort of a world or maybe your favorite novel and create the concept art for that novel. That sort of thing is going to catch eyes way more than just putting a bunch of assignments in, because the truth is, everyone in the art world has done those assignments before, and they're going to want to see something new, something fresh. The other tip is to make sure that you do things that you enjoy. If you make a bunch of art that looks really good and is going to appeal to art directors, but you really hated making it, then you might get hired for work that you didn't enjoy making, and then when you're in the industry, your job is going to be making things you don't like. So make sure that you put things in there that you really like yourself. And then the third thing that I want to talk about is just making sure that wherever it is you're trying to get a job, that you're sending them art that looks like it could fit into the art style that they create. So for example, if you want to work for Pixar, you're probably going to have a hard time getting hired if everything you do is super photorealistic or if everything you do is anime style. Or if you're wanting to work for Blizzard and everything you're doing is not really within the realm of their sort of cartoony, stylized feel of things, you're going to have a difficult time. It doesn't mean you have to copy all of their art, but you want to make things that feel like they could fit within that art style. So that being said, if you use all those tips, that should hopefully improve your chances of making a solid portfolio and getting eyes on what you're doing. A good number of pieces to have in your portfolio is roughly around 15. You don't want too much more than that, and you can maybe do a little bit of less, but one thing that you want to make sure you do is that you're not just putting things in there to fill up space, because what they're often going to do is judge your entire portfolio by the worst piece. So if you have 9 great pieces of art and 1 bad piece of art, human nature is going to be to look at that 1 bad piece of art and think, ooh, they're not that good of an artist, and maybe on these other 9 pieces they just happen to get lucky. So you want to make sure that everything you put in your portfolio is top-notch, the best of what you have to offer. And if you don't have enough pieces to make it to 15, it would be better to do less and keep your best work than to put mediocre work in just to fill up slots. In today's world, social media is kind of like a lot of artist portfolios. There's websites like ArtStation or CG Hub, but there's also websites like YouTube or Instagram. Instagram is a really powerful tool for artists these days, and if you can consistently post work on there, you'll be able to get a lot more attention to what it is you do. A lot of art directors these days will scroll through Instagram looking for artists that they enjoy instead of doing it the old-fashioned way through art books and things like that. So if you want to build up a following on Instagram, there's one rule that you have to follow that's going to be the most important, honestly, and that is going to be consistent. That doesn't mean you have to post every day. It just means that whatever schedule you're going to do on posting, you need to stick to it. So if you're going to post once a week, make sure you post once a week and that you reliably do that so people can look forward to that. If you're going to do once a day, make sure you do every day. Whatever it is, just make sure you're consistent. And also make sure that you're not just kind of making junk art just to fill a post for the day. Make sure that the art you're making is something worthwhile for people looking at. It can also be kind of fun to use your story and other features of Instagram to do sort of behind the scenes look on how you develop your ideas or work in progress sort of things. That's a great way to give art directors and just the common populace an idea into how your workflow is. So social media is a powerful tool. You can also use YouTube for, time lapse of your paintings, or if you want to, do tutorials like I do on YouTube. That's a great way for people who might want to hire you to see your type of personality and whether or not you're someone they would want to work with.